What is your topic for today's video?
So, topic for today's video, we're going to go through a few things. First of all, this is all about funded accounts and passing funded accounts, keeping funded accounts, and keeping private investments, which is what everyone's goal is who trades with pretty much little to no money. So I'm going to go through a couple of things first. First of all, we're going to get to the charts. I'm going to go through A+ setups, and I'm going to talk you through my A+ setups and all of the rules that we follow in our A+ setups as well. So this will be things like RAMC, sessions, which I always trade in New York, and I trade one setup, one very specific setup, and then how I execute on that trading strategy as well. Those four things are really important to building consistency on the charts. Then the second thing that we're going to go through is risk management, because unless you can trade and have good risk management, and we'll go through my specific risk management principles in part 2 of this as well, which will be more of an interview, and you can see exactly what I'm doing for my risk management. All of these setups that you see on the screen right now all follow exactly the same process. I'm going to put that process on the screen now as well, and then we're going to take you through these one by one. So first of all, we always start off with RAMC. That is previous sideways ranges that have already printed on the left hand side of the charts. We identify the ranges after we identify the breakout here to the downside. Then we go back, find the highest point and the lowest point, and this is our area in the future that we're going to be looking to trade from here again. What we're going to be doing in the future is looking for our setup at this point of mitigation. So instead of just trading this as my short here at the 50%, this is what most traders who trade smart money do. They're trying to catch the perfect range or the perfect reaction with their stop above the high and look for massive risk rewards in the market. Whereas what I do is I prefer to wait for confirmation at this location. And what confirmation is price slowing down first and then looking for a setup in that direction that confirms that the banks want to move price to the downside again from this location. That's what's going to increase the probability of your trades playing out in the future. So this follows all the rules. A range that initiated here to the downside, we come back into this location. We also have my fractal setup here, which happens before the session, which is fine. That then gives us the overall direction that we're trading in. Then I'm just executing at market open, which for me will be here. And I'm using a 10 pip stop loss and a 40 pip target. When price moves 15 pips, I'll move to break even. And this is the trading system that I always trade. I've traded this system for the last 5 years. Exactly the same process. This is what all the 15-minute traders inside NJT are looking at. We all watch New York session. We all trade the same setups and we all have the same results. This is also what we're showing our diamond traders as well, our exact processes. If you don't know what diamond traders are, make sure you go to our website. It is written right at the front of our website and have a read through. We help our traders completely free, and we're the only community out there that does that. So this is the setup, the fractal high, and then we see the continuation here to the downside. So we know that we're in the continuation leg. That's break even, and then we just end up just waiting to see if that trade is one that plays out. So that's a first setup here. Now we come into the next day and we come into the next session. We're following exactly the same trading model again, right? I don't have to predict that price is going to react from this range. What I do is I wait for price to get there. I see the reaction, I see the move away. Then I look left and I identify the sideways price action before price broke out there to the downside. My strategy is not based on predicting the market. It's all based on reacting and identifying what we're seeing in current price and then following along the direction. Because what I wanted to do when I started to travel is I wanted to make a strategy that is easy to follow, where I didn't have to do any thinking in the moment. Very mechanical based system. So this is what this is all about. It's about identifying ranges after prices reacted from there. So we don't have to predict every single range. We actually react and identify. Then I want to see a fractal high happening either before my session or in my session. And then I'm trading alongside that direction. My system is all about reading the direction. So everything we use is about reading market direction. RAMC gives us an understanding. A reaction shows us price wants to go from there. And if you know the RAMC model, of course, if you don't know this, it's ranges, initiation, mitigation, continuation. So I'm playing my setup in this continuation leg, anticipating that next big move to happen here within the market. This is a bearish order flow pattern that repeats over and over again. As we see here, point of mitigation, we're in the continuation, range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. And again, following again, range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. So what a lot of traders think is, well, which range do I play? Because there's ranges all over the chart. And that is why I don't predict every single range. I wait for price to react out of there. Then during my session, I know that there's a 40 to 60 pip move happening during my session. And then I trade alongside that intention there to the downside. This is a massive part of my edge so that I don't have to predict every single market move, but I can actually just wait for the market to show me what it wants to do, and then I can follow alongside that direction. So a big point of understanding how to pass a funded account is understanding that not every single trade is going to play out. Of course, this is one that did play out here. If you're following the intention here to the downside, this is a trade that didn't play out. If you're just executing out market open, of course, I don't execute trades like this anymore. They have to be inside ranges, which is inside A to B's that we see here. Because this broke out, this would not be a trade for me anymore. This is the rules that you'll learn inside the community so that you stay out of these low probability trades and you're only executing on the high probability ones. Then we move into the next day, right? Sideways range, initiation here to the downside. We're waiting for price to come back up into here in our session. And this is where we get our fractal high that happens during the session. So we'll be executing here on the candle close and we'll be looking for that continuation there to the downside. Again, follows the same rules. We're executing out of a previous sideways range, initiate to the downside. We're at that point of mitigation and we've got our fractal high that's happened during the session, which is our sell order coming in at current price. And then we execute on the candlestick confirmation there as well. So this is one of those trades that ended up moving here to the downside around 30 pips and then coming back to take me out for break even. So these all follow the same processes, right? Every single trade that I've taken here follows from a previous sideways range. We're in the mitigation continuation phase, which is the highest probability phase here in the market. Again, mitigation continuation phase, mitigation continuation phase to target this low here to the downside. This is all coming from a higher time frame mitigation as well, which is really important. This high has been created over to the left from a previous sideways range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. So I'm following alongside that higher time frame momentum and looking for my trades during the session as well. These all follow the same rules. This is the exact rules that I use in current market price as well, and the ones that I teach inside NJAT.
What do you do for risk management?
So when it comes to risk management, I've kind of understood over the years that taking more trades doesn't equal making more profit, and taking more trades psychologically does not help me to trade very well. So I kind of found that when I started to trade just one trade a day, and I refined that to, sometimes not even trading in days as well when there's no setups, my results got a lot better and my psychology was a lot better, because when you're taking a lot of trades, a lot of the time your ebbs and flows will be really fast. So sometimes you're getting into the market every day. You might take 2 trades, win 1, lose 1, then lose 2, then lose another 2. There's a lot of ups and downs in your drawdown. Whereas if you take a trade and you lose, then you have this calm down period waiting for the next trade, and then the same thing again. So it kind of slows down that equity curve that you've got. So for me, dealing with wins and losses is a lot easier when I only have to do one at a time, and then I have time to reset and go on to my next trade and prepare for my next session and my next trade. So one of the biggest things that I learned was in risk management was only taking 1 trade a day. And if you're worried about not making enough percentage, only taking 1 trade a day, then just increase your percentage risk per trade. So instead of having 1% risk or 0.5, to have 2% or 2.5%. Obviously don't go crazy with it and do 10, because that's where it starts to get and push you into the side of expectation, which is the second topic. So the second thing is expectation. Now, expectation is the biggest cause of tilt in anyone's trading, and any professional traders out there will tell you exactly the same thing. Once you start to build expectation of a trade winning or losing, or you start to build the expectation of you being a winning trader or having a high win rate, for example, suddenly you put yourself into this perspective where you come into the market and you want something from the market. Now, when you want something from the market, you're going to have this expectation that you have to get it. So when the market doesn't do that for you, that's when it fills the void of expectation, normally with emotion. And then where emotion comes in is where all of your trading errors come into your trading as well. So if you can remove all of the things that create emotion in your trading, it's going to make trading a lot easier for you to just execute. So one of the things that you could do when you get a funded account or when you get privately funded is you can see it as like a 6 to 12 month investment. So instead of looking at it as like you want to pass it in one trade or 1 week or 1 month, see it more as your next 6 to 12 months investment that you're making into your trading, and focus then on just flawless execution of every single trade. So like one of the things I do is I have a calendar, a year calendar, and every time I have a perfect performance, which for me is flawless execution of my strategy, I do a little green circle. That keeps my mind focused on process rather than outcome. So I focus every day on just making sure that I've got those green dots. And then over time, that helps you to think in the perspective of a series in your trading. And that's helped me a lot of the time to just remain in emotional control and remain focused with my system as well. And then the last thing is having high risk rewards. So for me, my risk rewards have changed over the years from 1 to 2s to 1 to 3s and then 1 to 4s. If you don't know what I trade on the 15-minute chart. So I'm trading swing moves on the 15-minute chart. What that means is I'm only taking ranges that cause swing breaker structures. So when you're playing the RAMC range initiation, always take my trade from a point of mitigation, expecting that next continuation. So if I take a higher time frame range for a continuation, then it potentially is going to become the next higher time frame swing, which means I can take more profit out of the move. So I adjusted my system to day trading it to then thinking more about how can I swing trade the profit side of things and still keep my day trading setup, which is exactly the same. So like one of the biggest things I've done with my system is increase my risk rewards to 1 to 4s. So it's literally guaranteed that you're going to go on a losing streak of 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades, and 5 trades over a series of 100 trades that you take. So think about the next whole year. You're going to go on many 3-loss streaks, you're going to go on many 2-loss streaks, many 4-loss streaks. But what's going to help your mindset to stay focused on flawlessly executing your trades every time is to have a high risk reward. So if you take 3 losses in a row, your mind is still focused and optimistic, thinking that the next trade could potentially become that winner if you flawlessly execute it in the same way. So that was another thing that was like really important in my system. Don't try and shoot for these 1-to-1s like a lot of these traders. Basically, all these traders that are on Instagram right now, they have these 1-to-1 risk rewards or 1-to-2 risk rewards, and they're having a high win rate with their system because they're aiming for barely any profit. So when they do go through these large drawdowns, which is inevitable, every single trader goes through large drawdowns over a series of trades. When the market changes, which it will change and it always changes, from trends to ranges to initiation phases, it's inevitable. The market does this. Every market does this. When that happens and their system changes and they go through large drawdowns, it's just going to eat into all their profit. Whereas if you've got a large risk reward, then when you do go on those loss phases and you're getting those wins that are, 1 in every 5 trades you're hitting a win, that's when you're still always going to make profit over a series of trades. So those things right there, including obviously the winning thing at the end, the high risk rewards, those things help me to remain in emotional control in my trading and help me to just come to every session optimistic and just flawlessly execute on my system. And that right there is the key to creating consistency in your system, and that right there is also how you're going to maintain your funded account and how you're going to pass your funded account as well, or private investment, whichever way that you decide to go. Every trader should be building a track record, and that should be their focus, to build a track record. So instead of just trying to hit the lottery every single time with your funded accounts and pass the funded accounts, focus on more your own account, building a track record on your own account. And as a byproduct, just link your account to your main account and just focus on building a track record of perfect performance on your own main account. That will put your mindset more into the process of trading rather than the outcome of trying to make money in trading, because we don't make money in trading, our strategy makes money. So we need to perform and flawlessly execute our strategy, and that's what creates consistency, and that's what makes money for us. Our strategy makes money, we focus on performance and flawless execution.
Wow.
Thank you very much for watching. If you had any comments, make sure you leave them down in the comment section, or any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section as well, and I'll go through and I'll answer all of those. If you did want to enroll and get access to all of our content and be mentored by me and Chucks, whether you want to trade the 15-minute or the 1-minute chart, it's up to you. We've got chats in there, so that we've got a bunch of 15-minute traders in a 15-minute chat that are all talking about exactly the same entries during the same session, because we trade the same entries, the same sessions. So if you want to get involved in that and learn the exact rules and get into exactly the same trades, you can enroll at notjustatrade.com. We are running a 10% discount in the description of this video as well. And if you want to find out more about any of our other free things, or want to find out more about our videos, make sure you check out our channel and check out the free PDFs in the link in the description. Catch you guys in the next one.